Hey everyone, I'm back and today we're going to be talking about Hush, directed by Mike Flanagan, and this movie came out in 2016 and I thought this movie was alright. I thought it was Mike Flanagan's best movie since I saw Doctor Sleep. I've pretty much gone backwards. I watched Doctor Sleep first and then I watched a couple episodes of The Haunting of Hill House. I was like, that was alright. Then I saw Gerald's Game and that wasn't very good, and now this, it might be his best movie. Even if that's not really saying all that much. There's things I like about it, and there were definitely directions in which I wish it took, but I think this movie is okay. What I like about this movie are certain ideas that the movie has. I like the idea that our main character is mute and also deaf, and the movie uses this character's disabilities to create tension, and it also makes it a more subtle film because of that. And what I mean by that, you get the opportunity to have a character that doesn't explain everything to the audience, like what they're feeling really. You just see what she does, and I thought her performance was very good, and I bought her in the role. And there is one scene in this movie that I thought was really good. It's when our main character first gets injured in the movie, I believe. I think it was the first one. And that was suspenseful for me, and there was a decent amount of tension, and this movie is pretty brutal on top of that. When characters get injured, you do feel as though damage is actually done to these people, and they're not like invincible human beings. There was a nice little setup in the movie that I thought was good. I did feel as though this movie was very well paced. It didn't feel like it was wasting any time. It just got right into the idea of the movie and the story, and from there it doesn't really waste any time because this movie is very short. This movie is similar to Don't Breathe in the fact that it's short. However, I felt this movie had less filler than Don't Breathe, and this movie got right into what I wanted out of the movie right away, whereas Don't Breathe, it took a while to really get into the stuff that I wanted to get out of it. And that's about all I liked about the movie. My biggest problem with this movie is that aside from certain scenes that were brutal, and our main character does go through a lot of pain physically, I wasn't really scared by anything. I thought the villain was just the lamest thing in the world. He was so stupid and kind of frustrating and irritating, and I kind of get it. He's just kind of screwing around with this woman because he knows that she's mute and deaf, and he's just kind of toying with her before he decides to kill her. And he's just walking around the house scene, looking through windows, and that's pretty much the whole movie. And for what it is, the movie is okay. However, if you're looking for something that's going to scare you, I don't think this movie is going to deliver. And also the performance from the antagonist character, I can't remember his name, I didn't think it was very good. I found him to be really goofy, and there was a point in the movie where he's trying to be intimidating and trying to get our main character's attention by like going towards the window and like woo. And there was like a scene where he's just trying to get her attention, like pounding the window, and it was so goofy. And this character does become pretty comical in certain scenes. And also he explains everything out loud like he's just narrating to the audience. It's so stupid and I hated it. And every time he talked, I just wanted him to shut up. One thing about this movie is that it does a good job establishing that this woman is mute and deaf, and I just wish it was just about her and just living her life for an hour and a half, just see what it would be like for this character to interact with her friends. And she hasn't been with this guy Craig for about a year, and she's in the first scene of the movie, you see that she's cooking, and that doesn't really go very well, and I just would have rather seen her live her life for an hour and a half than this, because the horror elements didn't really work for me, and her character is really what carried the movie for me. And there's a lot that you probably could do with this premise, or not just the horror premise from like what I've said already. There's many things you could do with that, and I feel as that if the movie just focused on her and wasn't a horror movie at all, and there was no real antagonist that was trying to kill her, it was just her living her life, I think this movie would have been great. Because this is kind of a problem that I have with the director. He tries to make horror movies, and I think he's good with characters, but he's just not very good at scaring me. And that's why I wish this movie wasn't a horror movie, is because his characters are the only things that really carry his movies for me. It's just the presentation of where the story goes is just kind of stupid for me. Sorry if this is a little confusing, but I'm trying not to spoil either this film or any of his other movies. While I do like that the movie doesn't really have any dialogue for our main character, it's mostly just sign language. There's points where she has like voices in her head, and that's basically just explaining everything that's going on in her head and not letting us see what she's thinking, or just leaving the things up to interpretation. And that kind of bugged me about the movie. And that's about all I have to say about Hush without spoiling anything. It's fine. It's violent. I really liked that. It's well paced. I like what they were kind of setting up with our main character, and although this isn't really a story I wished the movie was telling, if you take the horror element out of this movie, I think this is a good movie. But as is, it's not great, and the antagonist is really annoying, and his performance was kind of bad, and he's pretty goofy, and I never really took him seriously. And overall, I can't really recommend it. It's fine. I maybe will watch this movie again one day, but that's about it. And I'm going to give Hush a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Hush down below. And my social media links, they will all be in the description down below, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation. And I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Saw 6. So look forward to that. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.